Okay, well, I guess it's 2:35. We can get started. I'm glad you all came. Thank you. You're so welcome, and I hope this is a nice day for you. If you have to use a restroom, if you just walk up the road around the house, come around the house, you look off to the left, you'll pass a little wood fire of it, and there's a little building with a green roof. That's the restroom. If you need water, or you brought water, you should pour it out. And I have a drinking fountain over here. My water is really excellent. It's like comes out of the glaciers over here in the Olympics. It's 7.3 pH. It's really good water. And so you're welcome to the water. And I really encourage questions. You know, as we're walking through, just if you have questions, ask. Now, how I came across this, I was raised in Los Angeles. My parents grew all of our food, and so I've been gardening my whole life. At 5 years old, my dad had me up in the morning going out hauling horse manure into our yard to hand spade. My brother and I wore out shovels spading. You know, I mean, we wore them out. They broke because the ground was so hard. You know, and so I've been growing food and gardening my whole life. And I wanted that for my family. And when I got married, LA was not the same when I grew up. It got really congested. Property is really expensive, and you can't get much. And I says, you know, Carol, this is just not a future here for a family. We need to get a place where we can grow food. So I bought this place with the intent to grow food for my family. But I encountered a real challenge. We drilled a well, went 213 feet, and got half a gallon a minute. 1/2 gallon a minute. And I'm building my house and says, God, I need help. How am I going to grow fruit trees without water? He says, come out to the woods and I'll show you. And I went out to the woods and I got on the ground and I started moving this cover. This is August. And I'm seeing the ground below is totally soft and damp and the roots are right there. And I look at the trees bright green, and that day changed my life. Totally changed. And I tell people one of the greatest gifts I ever got was that lousy well, because it opened me up to nature and the Creator, how He does things, and I feel so thankful. What a gift. Because had I had a good well up front, you wouldn't be here today, because I can't till, and I've given up because I couldn't do it. And now, what I'm loving is that no matter what condition I'm in, I can hardly walk, but look at my place. It's awesome, because it's not hard work. My only tool in the garden is a rake. It's so fun. And you know what I really, you know, when your work is fun, it's you want to do it. And when it's hard, it's I have to go out there. This is so enjoyable. And then just the density of nutrition is just such a blessing, you know, and just I feel so thankful, you know. So I want to share with people that this is doable. It's not hard. And the bottom line is all about covering. This is what's so significant to me. If you look at nature, every living organism has a protective covering. You see those dogs, they have fur, we have skin, birds have feathers, fish have scales, and the soil is a living organism, and nowhere in nature where man has not been is it ever uncovered. Are you hearing me? Nowhere in nature is the soil ever uncovered until we show up. And when you take the cover off of soil, it dies and compacts immediately. And you know what's interesting, how nature responds to us taking the cover off? What's the first thing that happens to your rototilled, you know, or plowed garden? It turns to weeds. Because nature's trying to put a cover back on. It's so obvious what's going on. Covering is essential. And you can't uncover. And nature's trying to overcome your stupidity and create weeds to create a new cover. Because it needs to be covered. I mean, it's so simple. And what I'm loving about this order, you know the pH is in my wood chips? 7.0. Perfect center. And at center, everything grows there. I have in my herb garden over here blueberries growing, a whole row of them. Right in front of it, I'm growing lavender, which is total alkaline, and blueberries are acid. But at 7.0, they're both happy because it's center. And what I'm loving about seeing nature, the Creator's perfect. There's nothing missing. Everything's in perfect order. And what's hilarious, I have wasabi growing over here in front of my blueberries. Now wasabi only grows in nature in Japan in standing water and full shade. You know what I'm talking about? Wasabi. I have it growing in full sun with no water, and it's thriving. And then right next to it I grow sage, to blow your mind. You know where sage grows? In deserts with no water. But what I'm getting in the spirit is that in the wood chip cover there's enough water for the wasabi if it wants it. But if the sage doesn't, it can move into open spaces and avoid it, but they can choose. And that's what really amazes me. This design is so perfect, it covers all the bases, and the plant can choose whatever they want. It's so amazing. And we work so hard to try to adjust this pH, to try to adjust this water for that, and do all this stuff that never lasts. Well, we don't need to, because it's so simple and so perfectly designed.
Well, where do you get your wood chips?
I get my wood chips from local tree services.
Okay.
This film, Back to Eden film, has changed the whole lifestyle of tree services. In the past, tree services used to have to pay to dump their chips. Now they're in demand and they're selling them. I'm telling you, all over the United States, there's things called chip drop. You can on the internet and tree services. You can contact them, and they'll bring you wood chips.
We use them.
It's hilarious. I mean, I love it. And you know, the beauty of wood chips is that trees grow. It's an unlimited resource. It's never going to end.
Well, we had a guy that cut down some trees, and I called him after I saw the documentary. I said, John, could you stop by a load of chips, and how much? And he said, I'll just stop one by, and he backed on in and dumped one like the day after or something. Yeah.
You know, and for them, it's so nice to have places to dump. You know, I have a place to swim, an acre and a quarter, and these tree services in town, you know, they can come there anytime, day or night, just dump and drive off. You know, it's convenient, no charge. You know,
sure.
But now they're finding that they're valuable, and they're actually charging for them. You know, and which is $100 a load is what they're charging here. But if you ran a chipper and filled that truck, $100 is a bargain. It would take you a day or more. I mean, it's a lot of work, you know, feeding a chipper with you. So it's you know, and again, to me, this is such an asset. This is such an incredible investment in my property. You know, I don't even think you can put a dollar figure on it. Just the nutrient value and just, you know, what I'm getting out of this is just phenomenal. You know, and it's just.
How thick do you put? Well, do you put chips down every year?
I love this question. You see, when I first came, my soil was really deficient, and the chips broke down really quickly. I thought, wow, man, what happened? You know, but what I'm finding now, after 42 years, my soil is so nutrient dense. These chips aren't breaking down at all, because the soil's not hungry. Nature is amazing. And this is what I'm so loving about how the Creator designed this. You see, if you follow the natural order correctly and you do the work up front, as you get older, you get a higher and higher return with less and less work, which is how it should be, because you have less energy. And here's what's so pathetic about American agriculture. These farmers today that are doing agriculture in America that spend big money for education, their reality is they're spending more and more each year to produce less and less. That's their reality. They're spending more to get less. It's pathetic. It's totally pathetic. And you're looking at my future like this is what I'm looking forward to? Spending more to get less? It's so scary and it's so pathetic because they don't get it. You can't rob the soil and put nothing back. And chemicals aren't real. They're synthetic. Here's the thing that really amazed me as you look at human history. We have recorded human history for about 6,000 years, recorded. No culture anywhere in the world for 6,000 years has ever used salad dressing. Think about that. Until 1948, when they started creating chemical fertilizers. And the salad started tasting bad. Didn't have the flavor. So they made salad dressing to mask the funky flavor of the salad. Instead of saying, wait a minute, what changed? How come the salad doesn't taste good? And go back to the original and just use good organic material to feed the soil. And we've been buying that garbage and living on that totally deficient stuff for decades and don't get it. You know, it's so simple, man, how obvious it is. And just, while you're here, you see that cherry tree out there at the end? Little cherry tree? Underneath the strawberries. Go over there and sample them. Because while you're here, I want you as much as possible to taste my food. Because I want you to really experience what real food tastes like. Because it's different than you've had, I guarantee you. So go over there and get some strawberries.
Well, that's all I have for this video. Bang around that bell icon if you want to be notified when new videos come out. Call us on the hotline if you have comments or questions and want to be featured in an upcoming video. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. Check us out on the website, and we'll see you guys on the next one.